You can see the payouts very meaty. This is bigger than yesterday, about the same amount of entrants, a little more pricey price point, 30,000 euros instead of 20.
They might be analytical.
Paul Phua analyzing Queen Jack offsuit in the hijack, determining a min-raise open is appropriate. Pak goes with the flat from the small. Danny Tang able to close the action with King 10, and this Queen 5 board smacks Phua for trips.
Check.
Yeah, he's in position. Goes ahead and decides to bet, but looks like he's taking a small size here.
Well, looking to invite someone to continue with a lighter holding.
Pak here, ace high, backdoor hearts, thinking about it. Fold, call, raise. All three on the table. Same for Danny Tang for that matter. But I think Danny probably passes as well, but you never know. Fold, call, raise, all going through his mind. So yeah, that's exactly what he's thinking. I'm making it much harder for Paul to have a queen here with my cards. So obviously Paul wouldn't fold those, but I could improve, and then maybe I get him to fold ace high. But fortunately for Danny, Paul is bladed.
He's got it. And Tang did not want to see Phua make this call.
When you're repping the hand your opponent has, tends to not work out well for you. So he's repping that he has a queen. Told the story on the flop. He's telling the story right now.
And Paul going to flat. No reason for him to go inflating the pot at this point. Obviously, it's not impossible that Tang has him outkicked or perhaps has an even better hand, although at this point, none of those things are a concern as Phua makes queens full of jacks.
Well, I'm sure he's thinking if my opponent has aces, kings, well, not jacks anymore, but aces, kings, maybe tens, nines, I can get him to fold that. So he...
What's your card? What you have? I have quads.
Tang not amused as he waves the white flag, and Paul Phua with a massive chip infusion here. As we return to the feature table for the outcome of eights against jacks. Dvoress has Antonius covered, but has way the worst of it.
It's not the worst.
4-1 dog. Going to the flop. And flop has an 8 in it. The good news is Patrick is open-ended. Queen or a 7 would do the trick, as would the jack. But for the time being, Dvoress is in front. Club would be useful as well. And the turn card is the 7, so now Patrick makes the straight, and he needs to anti-sweat. Dvoress looking to pair the board.
And Jack will chop.
River is an ace. And so all the patience that Patrick Antonius exercised as he bled out down to the shortest of stacks in the field, finally rewarded.
Of buying, I guess it's a good start. It's a little, it's not surprising, but it's a lot. It's a lot of entries for the 30K and some new faces we're seeing here too.
200K to go from the Queen 9 suited of Paul Phua. Fedor with the Queen 10 offsuit in the small blind. Looks like he is going to shoot it in there. And he is in good shape against that Queen 9. Will he be able to shed Kevin Pak's ace trade? The answer is yes. So they're on their backs.
Oh, please, 9.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Oh no!
Got the clubs though. This is Fedor's in good. That's definitely what he wanted to see.
You are my
best case.
You are my savior. You always bring me back. So
Maybe not this time.
let's hope so.
Flop's got a club in it, along with a 3 straight, which gives Phua the gutty.
A bit too greedy, yeah?
Greedy.
Oh wow.
10 of clubs, and now look at this.
Would have been the right call.
2-1 favorite only with hitting the 10 there. It's not the 10 he wanted.
Double gut shot. And the flush draw.
Oh.
And he hits the jack to make the queen high straight. Fedor was in such a dominant spot there. Ran queens into aces, king jack into aces, and then queen 10 into queen 9. An unmerciful run of events there for the Austrian, who checks out in 13th place.
I mean, if anyone's listening there, yeah, listen, I spend a lot of time, do some streaming, some podcasts. Ali, I know I'm going to have you on the podcast coming up. Would love to, I need to look into this. I need to see how much this is. If you're listening,
I'm only
Secret Lab.
coming on if I can have a chair, Jeff. I gotta be comfortable when you're interviewing.
All right,
me,
fair enough.
Call
like
the folks
that.
at Secret Lab, see if they're in. Maybe you got yourself a new sponsor.
Let's do it. With price point on these, they are nice. I'm gonna have to take a look at the website. I don't know. They're nice.
If you have to ask, probably can't afford it. Ace 8 against 10-8 here on an 8-7-7 board with a couple of clubs. Kannapong in bad shape kicker-wise right now as he checks to Phua. Pre-flop aggressor following through here for $150 into $550, and that's a sizing that's definitely not going to get rid of Kannapong. And with those black chips in front of him, might he have ideas? We saw him check raise Paul earlier with that Jack 7. No heroics this time. Flats, another 300K into the middle, and the club is a welcome sight for Kannapong, who now picks up the flush draw. Checks it over to Paul. Texture deteriorating a bit.
Yeah, so if you're Paul, you got to feel okay, but this is definitely not one of the better cards. 5-6 makes a straight, clubs make a flush, but you have to think, would your opponent maybe check raise some of those hands too? So as played, this is quite a creative run out. And
third 7 on the river means kickers are no longer considerations.
Yeah, I guess this will just get
300K the bet from Kannapong, and it would seem like a negative free roll for Paul to do anything other than flat here, just in case he's up against something like quad 7, a straight flush, or an overpair.
Yeah.
Kannapong immediately identifying just how fortunate that third 7 was for him. Queen 9 suited going to move all in on the button here as we play four-handed at the feature table, and Kannapong is going to move all in over the top. And terrible news for Antonius as a 9 is shared between them. 3.35 million chip pot.
Kannapong got in the right situation here. 2-1. Antonius gonna need some help, but that Queen 9 suited looks live, doesn't it? It's got options. It's got flushes. It's got straights it can make. So 2-1 favorite. Dominated though.
The flop. Jack 4 tray. Not a spade to be found. The straights are dire for Antonius. He is queen fishing here.
Queen or 10 would make it. 10 would be available for something. That is not it. And this goes to a massive hammerlock on the hand with one card to come, 6.7%.
3 outs once.
Not going to happen.
Spades is not one of them. Patrick Antonius really didn't get much going on the day. Spent a lot of time bleeding out and then sitting on a short stack, but at least he cashes at 78,100 euros.
1125.
Yeah, and Ike,
Call.
Yeah.
ultimately goes for the call there. I mean,
Yeah, he knows the situation. He knows how the land lies. These guys
played in 2 years, saved up all his luck. Very difficult.
at this level, man, it's so sick. Like, there's so much leveling involved in it all. It's a classic. He knows that I know that I'm going to be opening wide, so he's going to jam wider because he has more fold equity, and I have to call off Ace Jack O.
wow. I mean, this is just a ridiculous action flop. Top two versus he has the nut flush card here at 10, and flops top 2 and is still not in anywhere close to home. Watson, who started the day as a chip leader, going to have to fade a turn after hitting the flop, and wow. So this is actually now an ace would win
That's
for
the one
Haxton,
card
who
that
have
adds to the excitement.
aces and 9s. He still has that club or a 10. So to the river. Can Watson hold now? 2-1 favorite. Oh, man.
Yeah, Mike.
What a ridiculously... I mean, it's just a ridiculous hand. Ridiculous run out.
Yeah.
Close equities, and Ike just gets it done. Ace-Jack holds versus King-Queen. Sir Watts adds to his Triton resume, his overall resume, and...
Kind of letting everyone else do the damage to themselves. Dvoress going to defend.
Yeah, Queen 9 too good to fold. Gets quite a flop, but so
wow.
does Paul.
Well, Dvoress is either going to double up or we're going to be down to 5 because the money is going in SPR2. Top 2 against second nut flush draw and a gut shot. How's your luck, Dvoress? Flopping top 2 and you only have 59%, eh?
Yeah, it's
Feels bad, man.
a bit crazy.
So Paul firing out C-bet 375. Assume a time bank chip extension is going to be thrown in and it's going to be followed by the all-in announcement from the Canadian.
Yeah, thinking about other options, but really doesn't. I don't see it's such a draw-heavy board. I mean, he's just this SPR so low. It just seems trivial, right? So it's just going to be check jam and snap called, and as you mentioned, kind of unlucky to not be in a better spot than that. Look, I mean, Paul literally beat him in the pot. He hell-muthed him in there.
Paul asking if he has a set. Oh, laughs all around. Ike and Dvoress and Paul just thought having a bit of banter. You know, I was playing for 6 figures, why not? Paul was like, you had a set in my head.
Yeah, sweaty turn here, 59%, and just a few more outs added now. A king or a 10,
5 more outs.
or a jack, or a spade. When you start saying and, it's a lot, and it's even off the board. I don't even see them on the chart there. They usually pop up a graphic. Let's see the river.
Too many.
It was too many, but there you go. Dvoress now will depart. So he rips the king-queen off. And, talk about not great timing. The ladies find their way to Kannapong. This is Kannapong, if you will. I mean, it's such a cool name. Playing like a true pro, playing great. And he has got Seidel in a difficult situation here. Gonna need some real help.
No, last level 8 is 3 bullets altogether. Now is the best. This one you got 3 chances.
And Kannapong doing a little counting.
The next level.
A little bit of Hollywood, but there's players behind, guys. This is not a slow roll. This is something that, you know, may want to try to act a bit like it's a tough spot, and can't blame him. He's got a real hand, and he's got people behind to act still. So 2 queens. Throws a time bank on the call even, or actually I don't know if he's even, has he called or gone all in? He's gonna be playing. We know that.
Yeah, what a grim spot for Seidel.
Looks like he's counting out the call chips, right? Which, you know, I mean, we're seeing some real discomfort in his I mean, which is, we know, trying to maybe induce like a hand like this, or ace-jack suited, or pocket jacks, imagine, are behind, and they see this kind of discomfort could entice them. But Paul is, you know, pretty hand, 40% to a royal flush, but with this action all in all, I mean, it's just not going to be coming along. So as it turns out, we are going to see king-queen off, Ike with nothing but a queen. There's a queen there, gone. You know,
Nice.
he needs a king.
What do you have?
S-Jack.
Wow.
S10, S10. Suited.
Ace 10, so
You fold, I call.
Sure.
Kannapong is ahead. Sweaty flop, little extra. A jack would actually not only be a chop, it would be a win for Eric because he would make the king high straight. So king or a jack available. 4.6, Henry, huge pot.
Yeah, and everyone else, Ike, Ben, just rooting for the queens to hold here. Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, he can't believe it.
King, queen, right?
No.
Eh?
Queen.
What the other side?
Wow, what a turn. So now it would have to be a king for a chop. Not going to happen. Just can't believe it. You play so well. You put yourself in position. You got Eric Seidel. We were just talking back from 88, getting cashes. And a huge, huge hand. King high straight going to go over to Mr. Seidel. All right, so Paul will defend. Seidel up to 4 million. So queen 6 off, modest holding, but getting a great price. Does defend. Let's see a flop. And there is quite a flop. I mean, top pair versus middle set. And
oh boy.
What an absolute ridiculous flop. Top pair versus middle set. You don't see that very often. Seidel realizes the range too can be wide. I mean, definitely could be some 5x in there. Could hit a pair. And Paul has a interesting decision here. He certainly is going to continue. The question is, does he call or check raise? You know, I think merits for both, but if you check raise, you're gonna have in this particular spot, it's gonna be really dicey, and he does just call. So let's see how this plays out. There's certainly some action cards.
Oh, wow.
That's actually one of the best cards for Paul possible. It gives him a real chance to win the hand with the club. It also can slightly slow down Seidel, or at least make him wary. I still think he's gonna feel good about his hand, of course, with the set. It's kind of hard to just give your opponent a flush, which he doesn't have, but definitely opens up life from drawing 0% on a lot of turns.
Yeah, definitely, and it also means that the sizing Seidel's going to go for if he does decide to bet.
Oh my!
Wow!
Oh my! Wow! What a run out! I mean, what a run out! So Seidel, by checking the turn, is going to pot control and also put real deception on his hand. The bad news for him is Paul has hit a really insane run out. He now has the queen high flush, no action on the turn. He's got to feel good about his hand, and wow, and he checked it.
Yeah, checks through. Okay, I mean, I just want to reiterate what an absolute gentleman Seidel is. You know, just get shown the queen 6, you know, running clubs. Doesn't even table his flop set of fours to be like, oh, look what I had. Like, you got so lucky. Just, you know, marks.
Yeah,
I'm not going to feel really bad. I'm just going to go out, maybe have a stroll through Madrid.
Yeah.
Nice mill. You know, but not Ike. He's just already all business, thinking of the next one. And wow, what a flop.
Going to get to business here with the flush draw and 2 pair. Bottom 2, 5 high flush draw. Kannapong knows what to do. You got 5 high and a semi-bluff. You're going to go ahead and put some chips in the middle. And Paul, with a relatively wet board, there's straight draws available, flush draws there, and he is likely going to be protecting his hand. I don't really see this as a spot to be trapping. There's a lot of draws you're guessing. He's going to check the temperature and send it up, put the thermometer on Kannapong. And if you're Kannapong and you get check raise here, it's not an amazing spot. You do have you draw into a flush, but it's a 5 high flush. There's an outside chance you're over flushed, and if you make your hand, and you're also getting you are out of position, so you got a lot working against you here, but you do have a flush draw, you have some equity, and for that price,
I was thinking like he could just level himself into jamming here, just because he has fold equity. Paul shouldn't have too many strong hands, and Paul does make the call. This is huge. Ike Haxton, Jeff, with just 1.4 million.
Yeah.
Watching from the sidelines as these two play a 9.1 million chip pot.
And if this shows you anything about these two guys, they're playing to win. This isn't, this is Kannapong saying, you know what, I see Ike, I see you. Also, though, maybe leveling too to show, oh, he's short. I'm not just going to be ripping
Who am I
it
rooting
in
for?
willy-nilly. So
Rooting for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He covered
Paul
me.
Phua covered, believe it or not, by the way.
Hot.
No.
so
Hot, please.
Ace or 8.
Kannapong is
Or 4 or
requesting
5.
a red card. And Paul is requesting a clean run out. Oh, it's red and it's a 4, but not enough. And Kannapong is going to still remain in, but he is in short.
Oh, so he actually was all in blind.
Yeah.
What an absolute champion.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. I know he's going to be all in the next hand, but still, he didn't even like peak 1.
I mean, this is, you can see the percentages, how close it is. You would think ace-9's in better shape, but look at this. We're going to get this sweat. Although ace-9 does block the straight cards, still picks up more outs. So we get full value excitement here.
What a hand to pick up blind, eh?
Oh, pairs a paying card, but not a jack. So we are going to need on the river. You can see all those cards. There's some outs available, and it is just not enough. Ace-9 going to do the hold, and Kannapong is going to exit in 4th. What a showing.
Sat on around 10. Does make the call.
Put it in, and Paul is going to see that he has the best hand. And essentially, if Paul were to win this, they would be heads up with about the exact same stack, right?
Yeah.
18 in play. There's 5. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Paul would have maybe even a little more. So it's 5.3 in the middle, so 7. He's all. Oh no, it's about the right. It would be about a dead even.
Pretty much.
Up match. And as we see, a king arrives, and Ike shaking his head. He sees that is dicey proceedings. Going to need a heart or an 8 or a queen for even a sweat, or else this is going to be heads up, and it is not. So GG for Ike. Really well played. I mean, nothing but positive things to say about this man and his game, his ability. Decades of battling with the best, and going to go ahead and bow out. And look at that, Paul. That is a man who is happy, realizing he's been here. He knows how close it is, but when you look over and you got Eric Seidel to go through, it is no easy cakewalk. Yeah, I mean, again, so quickly it can shift, but currently Paul with some separation, but you can see if Eric were to double, it would be a commanding lead. So it is, well, I mean, this is one of those hands, heads up, flopping a open-ended straight draw versus trips. This is definitely both players going to like the flop.
Well, Seidel boating up. Paul does not want to complete his straight on the river. 1.6 out there.
Yeah, I mean, he's got such a great semi-bluff candidate, having really 4 high, one of the worst hands you can have, but also having equity. So, you know, it's you just aren't going to blame Paul for continuing to tell a story here. And Eric, this gives you a little bit of Rounders vibes, doesn't it?
Indeed.
Johnny Chan versus Eric, where he slips over the nuts in here. I mean, he's got the literal nuts. Jack 6, almost. I mean, other than Jacks, but he's got effectively the super nuts here. And Paul, he's just trying to think, what does he have? Does he have anything that I might want to get the action going? But really, I can't see any reason but just call, and he does that. And Paul is actually in for a really bad situation here. He's either going to improve and might get stacked, or he might have to bluff with his 4 high when Eric checks it over to him again. And, you know, Paul may decide this is time to give up, but he also may decide, you know, one of the lessons and learnings in poker, right, is when you have the worst possible hand in your range, oftentimes it's very tempting to bet. He just got caught bluffing in a much different spot, in a much different pot size, and here he's just thinking how much. I think the wheels are spinning. I think he is going to go for it because you can't blame him.
Yeah, one hand in the cookie jar.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
And he is going for a healthy bet, and that is going to get met with a raise, I'm sure, for the full lot that he's got left. Either way, it doesn't matter. He has 4 high, nothing else happening other than this pot going Eric's way. And unfortunate timing, but again, it could have been a lot worse because he could have made his hand a 7 or a deuce and would have been certainly doubling up Eric. And now he is.
Things were really going Pua's way.
Raise all in?
Yeah.
Gets check raised.
Okay, something.
New chip leader,
Yeah.
Eric Seidel.
Well executed hand, and I mean, again, can't fault Paul. He had an equity bluff. Okay, 2 7s for Seidel and Jack 8 suited first in. But imagine Paul rips this. I mean, what is he's sub? Yeah, 5. It's 8 blinds, right? This is just going in, and Eric's gonna snap call. And we are gonna see a coin flip for the title. And if Eric wins, it will be a spin from 2 to a title. If Paul wins, we're going to have a brand new match because it would be back to almost even here.
Yeah, Seidel would still be chip leader.
So look at this. Look at the support. Look at the rail here gathering. I mean, look at the energy in this room. Everyone looking on intently. It's Eric versus the world. They're sort of shifting to the right there. A lot of so tough start for Jack 8, 7-7 in the lead. Also that 3 below the 7 takes away the possibility of a counterfeit at least immediately. So let's see, Paul on the edge of his seat. Oh, wow. Jumps into the lead, the 8 on the turn, and just like that, 5%. We go to a 19-1 favorite to the river, and we're playing some more poker. Everyone buckle in. We got a new game. Ivan Liao looking on intently. Richard Young close by. Danny Tang. And Eric could taste it after the flop, but no, it wasn't meant to be, at least there. 8 on the turn. Let's play some poker, Henry. 2 jacks, king 10. Don't really see a way this doesn't go in. This is how many blinds? I mean, what? He's on 10 blinds?
Yeah, it's just surely an open shove here from Paul Phua, and again, just going to run into it.
A fast call, 2 jacks for the man, Eric Seidel, and Paul does have that over, but king 10, known as the taxi cab, 70-30. 70-30. Seidel stands up, and look at the rails like they were just there. It's almost like it's just like pin in, heavy rail, big moment again. And this time, though, Paul has more chips, and if he were to win, he would take a significant chip lead, but he is 70-30 dog. Oh, wow. The king finds its way in the middle. Unbelievable. And look at that. Again, he is going to jump into the lead. Last time a flip, this time 70-30. Turn is clean. Has to fade. 2 outs, 1 again. 19-1 favorite all of a sudden after getting it in. King 10 of Jackson to the river.
Wow, Jeff.
Wow. And as we were just saying, it can happen fast at this stack depth. And he is the chip leader all of a sudden.
Wow, Tran tuning in from Vietnam at the moment, saying 3:30 a.m. still watching. I don't blame you.
What an important time. Eric almost can't fold. He does. He puts it in, and now Paul with the best hand, ace 5, 60-40, 58-42, and a at-risk Eric Seidel is at risk with 10-7. He had to basically put it in. There was really not much to do, and he's in the big blind. And this is history, maybe. Is it? Either way, it's going to be history, but this is Eric standing up again. He says, we got to do this again.
He does.
He's saying, I need help this time, dealer. I'm behind.
Lucky number 18 for Paul, potentially. Just 5 cards away.
Oh, my goodness. Sweaty. Flops the gut shot. Saw the 5 in the window. Preceded by 2 cards that were beneficial for Eric. You can still see the percentages haven't changed, but the flop is now past us. We're going to go to a turn. A lot of interesting cards, and the 9 pairs the board safely. And look at this. We are 1 card away, 77% of the time. Paul Phua will be the champion.
Gonna explode if this river's clean.
He fade it. Oh! He did it! Yes, sir! There he is. 2 legends hug it out, man. Oh, look at that. Wow. Look at that smile. That is a perma smile. You're going to see him all week. You're not going to be able to wipe that off of his face. Well done, Paul.
Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. What a moment. What
Smiles
a moment.
All around.
Champion. Event number 2, 30K. Got a little Tiger Woods fist pump there. I mean, you can see that relief. You just never know, you know. You could play your whole life and never win a major event, and he did it right there. Got it done. Lucky number 18, and Eric Seidel, 2 blinds. What are we gonna say? What a spin up. So everyone's happy, I think, there. And look.